recording. Yeah. Question number 1, 25. Anyone wants to take over and explain the question? Let's make it interactive today. Okay. So someone take, the initiative to, unmute the mic and you can start speaking. Anyone wants to take? Come on, guys. I need some volunteer today.
Can I explain, bro?
Yeah, Joshita, you can go ahead and explain the question.
So basically, the question is the user will have to give an input and we'll have to raise it to the power of 5 and we'll have to obtain the last two digits of that. So the logic is very simple here. Whichever number is the power of 5, the last two digits will always be 25.
Good, good. That's it. So they have given our input, as Joshita said, 5 to the power n. They are telling us to find. They gave us n. So if you see here, guys, the initial value of n, so the least value of n could be 2, right? What if it was 1 here? What would you write the answer as? Would the solution change or still remain the same?
The power of like if the value of n is 1, then the output will be 0, 5.
0, 5. Yeah. So the last number would be 5, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, we would write if n is 1, then print 5. Else print 25, right? Because see, with the observation 2 to the power, I mean 5 to the power n, if n is 1, 2, 3, 4, what would it be? 5, not 1. Okay, 5 to the power 2 is 25. 5 to the power 3 is how much? 125. 5 to the power 4 is nothing but 625, and so on. So as you can see, last digit or last two digits of every power of 5 is 25, and it continues because 25 into 5 is always 25, correct? So last two digits will always remain 25, hence the output will just be 25. S out means system output, right? Good. So coming to problem number 2. Yeah, can anyone volunteer? Boy or a girl? Or boy or girl? The question's name, Yeah. So can someone volunteer, please? Come on, guys, don't hesitate. Okay, I'll only pick someone then. Sanjay, can you explain us what is question number B or question number 2 asking us? So, how I like to, write, I mean, how I like to approach a question is first I'll be like, I'll write down input as such, and then I'll be like, uh, task, right? What am I supposed to do? Because see, this everything is just a storyline. It comes down to only one line. The question, what it's asking, only it's like one line important in this. So we can just, boil this whole paragraph or three paragraphs to just one line. So let's read it out. Those days, many boys used beautiful girls' photos as avatars. So these all things, right? This is not even required, right? I mean, it's just a storyline. So it is pretty hard to tell a gender of a user at first glance. Last year, our hero went to the forum and had a nice chat with a beauty. So he thought, so, I mean, yeah, after that, they talk very often and eventually, became a couple in the network. Fine. But yesterday, he came to see her in real world and found out she is actually a very strong man. Our hero is very sad and he is too tired to love again. So he came up with a way to recognize users' genders by their usernames. So we don't even need to care about all of this. This is what we have to care about. So he came up with a new way to recognize users' gender by their usernames. Okay, so what is that way? This is his method. If the number of distinct character in one's username is odd, okay, then he is male. So yeah, task is to find. I mean, let's read it out actually. Otherwise, she's a female. Okay. You are given the string that denotes the username. Please help our hero to determine the gender of this user by his method. Correct. So we have an input of string. I'll write it down like this. We'll have a string input, and the task is to find if he or he she. I mean, if the account is he or if it is she. So if it's a girl or a boy, correct. So further, I can say that if if you read it again, if the distinct characters, so the number of distinct characters, right? Number of distinct characters in one's username. So if count of distinct, so I'll write it like this: count of distinct characters are what are odd, then he's male. Okay, male. If not, then it's female. Correct. So I boiled it down to, like, 2 lines basically. So I don't need to care about the question now. Now, since I have understood the question, let's look at the output. Correct. Input we know. Now output. What is the system expecting from you? Output. Correct. So if you see here, let's read the explanation. For the first example, there are 6 distinct characters in that string. These characters are this. So that string is a female and you should chat with her. So they are telling, like, if female, then you have to print out chat with her. If not, ignore him. Correct. Now our only task over here is to find the number of distinct character in a string. So let's say A, B, C, D. What do you mean by distinct? So A is a distinct string, B is a distinct string, C and D are distinct strings. There are 4 distinct strings over here. Characters, I would say. That's right. So had it been like A, B, B, C, D, till there would be 4 distinct characters. Why? Because B and B are the same, right? So we need to find a way to, you know, count number of distinct characters. So how would you do that? How? The first thing is you need to have an idea about set. If you hash set. So what is a hash set, guys? Hash set is a data structure which only keeps non-repeating values or characters or strings, anything, right? So for example, if you have, in case of numbers, if you have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4 in an array, okay? Now when you put all of these elements in a hash set, they become like this. So what happened to this 3? It got removed because it is repeating. It is already there. So first it will check if the number is already there in the hash set. If it is not, then add it to the hash set. If yes, then you will discard that element because it was already present in the hash set, right? So how can we convert this logic or this functionality in our case, in our code? So what we'll do is, suppose we have a string s is equal to, say, hello. What are we going to do is we are going to iterate through the string. Iterate through string. And then for every character, we are going to place it in a set, in a hash set. Correct? we're going to place it in a hash set. So first we'll be at H. So then we'll put H in, then E will go in, good, because it is not there in the hash set. Then L will go, fine. Yeah, anyone wants to speak? Uh,
No, are you presenting?
I'm not presenting?
No.
Oh, oh my God. I mean, you should have said earlier, guys. Ah, my God. Okay. My bad, guys. My bad. Okay. So I'll repeat it, guys. Okay. So, boy or a girl, we have this question. So, when you read it out, you just cancel out everything, write it down in this way. Correct? We have input, we have task, and then what to do in the output, right? So, I explained about hash set. What is hash set? Hash set is a data structure wherein, you know, wherein if you take this example array has 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and this is an array. This is a hash set, correct? So when you try to insert elements one by one in a set, so when you put in one, it will check if the one is present in the hash set. If not, then it'll add one. Else, then now next two. Two is there. Is it there in the hash set? No. Then two. It'll add it. Three. Is it there in the hash set? No. It'll add it. 3 comes again. Is it there in the hash set? No. What it'll do? It'll discard that 3. It won't add that 3. 4. Is it there in the hash set? No, so it'll add. Similarly, in our question, for a given string, what we can do? We can just iterate through the characters, and then for each character, we are going to insert it to the set. Got it? H, E goes in, L goes in. So the next L, if it comes, since it is already there, what you'll do? You'll discard that L. Then comes to O will go inside. So now HELO so it will be something like this HELO. These are all the non-repeating characters. So I would say distinct characters. Correct? Now we have to check if there are the number is how much, even or odd, right? Simple. What you are going to do? You're going to check the size. Check the size. If n is even, if the size of set, if it is even, what will happen? So if it is even, then you'll output chat with her. Chat with her. If n is odd, then you'll output ignore him. Is it clear, guys? Or if anyone has any doubts, you can ask me. This is like a basic question. I hope everyone understood. Clear, right? Cool then. Hmm. Question number 3. So this is where most of you guys didn't get the answer. Question number 3. That is puzzles. Can anyone, can you guys read it out for me? Can anyone explain the question, please? Come on, guys. Deepak, are you here?
Yes or no?
Yeah, could you explain what the question says?
Okay, no. So Miss Marana at the end of the school year, she wants to say goodbye to her class. So she decided to present some puzzles to her students, N students. So she's presenting M puzzles to N students. and these puzzles are of different shapes and size. So she doesn't want to upset the children, so she's presenting the puzzles as with the difference as small as possible.
Right. Hmm. So now,
We are
yeah.
considering A as a number of puzzles in largest puzzle and B as the number of pieces in small puzzle, and then we're taking the difference, from it. She wants to choose n puzzles that A minus B is minimum possible.
Okay. So
So we
so
have to
these all,
find the piece for it.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Deepak. So these all are just a story, right? So what did we understand here after reading the question? After reading the question, they want A minus B to be minimum as possible. We know that they want A minus B to be minimum. But what did they give? Correct? Let's let's read it once. Okay, the end of the school year is near, and Mrs. Manana, the teacher, will soon have to say goodbye to yet another class. She decided to prepare a goodbye present for her N students. There are N students. Okay, let's note it down. We don't know if it will be useful or not. There are N students, right? And then each, and give each of them a jigsaw puzzle, which, as Wikipedia states, something. We don't need to this, okay? And then the assistant told the teacher that there are M puzzles, okay? N students and there are M puzzles. There are M puzzles, right? In the shop, but they differ in size and difficulty. Okay, they are differing in some aspects, size and difficulty. Specifically, the first jigsaw puzzle consists of F1 pieces. Okay, so what is this F1 pieces, right? So we know that there is something called as F1 pieces. So each puzzle will have some Fi pieces, correct? And then where was I? Yeah, Fi pieces. This second one consists of F2 pieces. So it's like each one will have some amount of pieces, F1, F2, F3 till Fn, right? Mrs. Manana doesn't want to upset these children. So she decided that the difference between the number of pieces in her presence must be as small as possible. Let A be the number of pieces in the largest puzzle. Okay. And then the teacher buys largest puzzle that the teacher buys, and B with the number of pieces in the smallest puzzle. Okay. And then she wants to choose n puzzles, right? She wants to choose n puzzles such that A minus B is minimum as possible. Correct. So A minus B should be minimum as possible. Help the teacher help the teacher to find the least possible value of A minus B. So A minus B should be minimum. Okay. Now let's check the constraints, right? N and M are given. N are the number of students, M are the number of puzzles, correct? And N is from 2 to 50, right? And M is also from 2 to 50. Good. And the second line, okay, so input is like N and M. We have already written, but we'll write it again here. Input N, comma M, right? And now the second line. This is the first line, right? This input is the first line. And then the second line contains m spaced integers such that a f1, f2, fm. Okay, so I was wrong here. It is fm, right? So there are some puzzle, pieces or something. F1, f2, f3 till fm. Correct. There are m number of puzzle difficulty and size. The values basically, the quantities of pieces. Correct. And now what you have to output a single integer, the least possible difference the teacher can obtain, right? Least possible difference. So that is A minus B. So that would be like Fi minus Fj, some I, some j, wherein this is minimum, correct? Now let's take a sample test case. Okay, so we have this test case. We'll write it down here. 4, 6, 10, 12, 10 again, 7, 5, 22. So what we know, what we have to do, You have to pick some f1 or some fi and then some fj. It should be minimum. Correct. So let's pick randomly. Fine. And also, if you guys noticed, okay, let's read this. Sample one. The class has 4 students, right? The shop sells 6 puzzles. Okay. And then if Manana buys the first 4 puzzles consisting of this values, pieces correspondingly, then the difference between the sizes of the largest and the smallest puzzle will be equal to 5. It is impossible to obtain a smaller difference. Note that the teacher can also buy 1, 3, 4, 5 to obtain the difference 5. So also this fi minus fj, between them there should be, like, in total, if you calculate, there should be 4 puzzles, right? Because there are n number of students. So there should be technically n puzzles. In this case, it is 4. So we have to pick 4 puzzles for our case such that among those 4 puzzles, the maximum, let's say A, minus the minimum should be minimum. So maximum element in those 4 puzzles minus the minimum should be minimized. So let's take an example. Let's take these 4, right? Correct. So what will it be? So we have 10, we have 12, we have 10 again, we have 7. Correct. We chose 4. So each puzzle will go to one student. Correct. That is why we picked 4. Here 4 are the number of students. Now from here, what is the maximum value? It is 12. What is the minimum value? It is 7. So what is the value? 5. But 5 might not be the answer. It is the answer, but it might not be answer. Let's take another case. Let's take this 7 out and insert in 22. So let's say PE teacher picks 10, 12, 10, 22. Right? Now what will be the maximum element? 22 minus what will be the minimum element? 10. What is the value now? It is 12. Is this minimum? No, it is not minimum. Correct? So we have to pick n number of puzzles such that a minus b should be minimized. Correct? Now, a small question for you guys. So what if they ask us a minus b should be maximum? What would you choose? If they want maximum, the difference. Anyone wants to answer this? Someone? Sanjay, you want to answer? Fine. So we have 1, 2, let's say we have 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, right? If you want to choose 4 out of it, 4, 4 puzzles, and a minus b should be maximum in this case, what will I choose? I will choose the most minimum value, which is 1. I'll also choose the maximum value, which is 7. And I don't care what I choose here. It could be either 4 or 5, or 3 or 4, or 3 or 5. I don't care about this. All I care about is choosing the minimum value and the maximum value. Since a minus b will be maximized in this case. Correct? What did we do here? We chose minimum value and then we chose maximum value. But they're asking us a minus b to be minimized. A minus b to be minimized. Correct? So can I choose somehow two minimum values? Okay, let's take that same example. 10, 10, 12, 22, right? Or no, it was 7. Wait a second, guys. 10, 12, 10, 7, 5, 22. 10, 12, 10, 7, 5, 22. So let me take two minimum values. It would be 7 and 5. Okay, one is 7 or one is 5, one is 7. But I need two more, right? Two more I need. So what I'll do, I'll fill in some other values. Suppose let's take 10 and another 10. But in this case, if you choose two minimum values, what is happening? This is no longer the maximum, right? If there were only two elements, that would be the maximum. But that is no longer the maximum. So 10 will become the maximum. So the answer will be 10 minus 5. Correct? So what my intuition says is, I want to not only like choose the minimum value, two minimum values, but somehow choose a value which is greater than all other values, but smaller than others, smaller than the left values, smaller than the leftover ones. So let me give an example here. So if I sort this, I'll have 5, I'll have 5, I'll have 7, I'll have 10, I'll have 10 again, and then I have 12, and then 22. So let's say I picked these four values, correct? So what will the difference be? 5, right? Suppose I don't pick this 10 and I pick this 12. What is happening? It is increasing again. It will be 7 in this case, maximum minus minimum. So what I am here doing is I am just trying to get in the smallest values possible into my consideration. And what I'm doing? I'm doing the maximum minus minimum. Similarly, if I move one step ahead, it will become from 6 to 12. I choose this part. And now the answer is 5 still. Correct. And then I'll choose from 10 to 22. Here it is 12. So whatever is the minimum out of these three is my answer. You can try it out. There is no other way to choose in such a way that you can get answer less than 5. Here. Let's take another case. Let's say we have 4, we have 5, we have 10, we have 12. Correct? We need 2. We need 2 students to have the puzzles. So how would you pick such that A minus B is minimum? So I would sort this, which is already sorted, and then I'll have a pointer at 0 and I'll have a pointer at 1 because I only need to give to 2 students. Correct? Now this will be like 5 minus 4, 1. 5 minus, if you move ahead, it will go here and here. 10 minus 5, 5. And if you move again, it will go 2. So minimum of all of this, that is 1 again. So the answer is nothing but you sort the array, you sort the array. Then what you do is basically have a pointer at 0 and another pointer at m minus 1. So that is equal to like m, right? We have m, considerations. Then what we'll do? This pointer 2, this is pointer 1 and pointer 2. Pointer 2 until it reaches n or m, sorry, I'm sorry, n, you'll run a while loop. And then minimum will be nothing but minimum value of, let's take it as mini, minimum value of mini, comma, array of the pointer 1 minus array of the pointer 2. So, and every time you go forward, you go like pointer 1 plus plus, pointer 2 plus plus, and you just output mini. You got this? Did everyone understand? How did we come up to this logic? Like, why does it even work? Were you guys able to capture the intuition?
Yes, Anna.
Yeah, nobody has any doubts? Then we can move on to, I think, D. Right then. D is something you need to know before. So we are at D, I believe. Correct? Yeah, D. So is anyone aware of what do you say? XOR? Are you guys aware of XOR operations? And or XOR operations?
Yeah,
Yes,
bro.
Anna.
Sorry? Yes or no?
Yes, Anna.
Somebody who doesn't know what's XOR? Okay, no problem. So here there are array of A, like there's an array, right? Consisting of non-negative integer. This is important. It is all positive. All positive. And then you can choose X, some X we should choose, and denote BI is equal to AI XOR of X. Okay. For all 1 to n. So for all the values, fine. Where this symbol is nothing but bitwise XOR. Is it possible to choose a number X such that the value of expression B1 XOR B2 XOR Bn equals to 0? So B1 XOR, we write XOR like this, okay? B2 XOR B3 XOR B4, boom, 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 is equal to 0. Correct? We have to say if it is possible or not. If it is possible, just give the value. If it is not, just print -1. Correct? So what is this XOR? What is this XOR? First, let's discuss about XOR. So you might be familiar with and operation, or operations, right? Similarly, we also have XOR. Okay. So let's discuss and. What is and? If there is a value 2 and there's a value 3, we can represent 2 in this format, right? 1, 0. And we can represent 3 in this format, 1, 1, right? So now if you AND these both, what will happen if you AND them? 0 and 1. If you AND 0 and 1, it will be 0. If you AND 1 and 1, it will be 1. Correct. Are you guys aware of this? How I am writing this, values decimal to binary format? Is it, you guys have an idea about this?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Right. This is how you represent, right? So now let's talk about OR. For the same case, what will the OR be? So 1 or 0 will be nothing but 1. 1 or 1 is nothing but 1 again. So in this case, the answer is 3. But in this case, the answer was 2. Similarly, we do have something called as XOR. XOR. correct? So let's do the XOR for 2 and 3 again. 1 0, 3 is 1 1. So now when I XOR says that if 1 XOR 0 is there, then it will give output as 1. If it is 1 XOR 1, it will give an output of 0. If it is 1 or 0 XOR 1, it will give an output of 1. If it is 0 XOR of 0, it will give an output of 0. So when there are two different values, say 1 and 0, then it is always 1. If there are same values, then it is 0. That is the property of XOR. So in this case, there is a 0 and there's a 1. So this bit, if you XOR these bits, right, what we'll have? We'll have 1. Whereas if you XOR these both, 1 and 1, we'll have what? 0. So the answer comes out to be 1. In case of XOR, XOR of 2 and 3 is equal to 1. Whereas AND and OR give some other value. Now they're asking that they're given an array. They have given us an array. Say 1, 2, 5. That's an array. Now they are saying that for each A element in an array, what does that mean? This is A1. Right? This is nothing but A1, comma A2, comma A3. For each A1, it is represented as something called B1. And B1 is nothing but A1 XOR. What is it? A1 XOR of X, correct? A1 XOR of X. Now they're asking us if you do it for every value. So we can write it down like this, right? So they're asking we need B1 XOR B2 XOR B3 is equal to 0. And we need to find that X from here, correct? So this can be written as A1 XOR of some X, correct? A2 XOR of some X. A3 XOR of some X, right? We need this value to be 0. And we need to find the value of X, correct? So one more property of XOR, correct? If you logically think 5 XOR 5, what will the value be? So when I write down this 5 in binary format and this 5 in a binary format, it looks like this. And when I XOR these bits, 1 1 will become 0, 0 0 will become 0, and then 1 1 will become again 0. So X XOR X will be 0. If there is a same X, same number XOR to itself, it is 0. Okay, let's keep this in mind. Okay, now what we can do, another property of XOR, okay, is A XOR of B is equal to B XOR of A. And A XOR of B XOR of C is equal to C XOR of B XOR of A, or B XOR of A XOR of C. They, order doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. Okay. So we can write it down as A XOR of C XOR of B as well. So order does not matter, right? Now, let's take our question test case here. It is nothing but A1 XOR of X, A2 XOR of X, A3 XOR of X, correct? So let's write it down. A1 XOR of X, XOR of A2 XOR of X, XOR of A3 XOR of X. And what was our array? Array is nothing but 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5. Now A1 is nothing but 1 XOR of X. XOR of A2 is nothing but 2 XOR of X. A3 is nothing but 5 XOR of X. Correct? Now, we know that this property satisfies. We can rearrange and do it. It doesn't really matter. It's just like a plus b is equal to b plus a. Right? Similarly, what I'll do is I'll rearrange this 1 XOR of 2 XOR of 5 XOR of x XOR of x XOR of x. Correct? This should be equal to 0. Correct? Now, as property 1 suggests that 5 XOR of 5 will be 0. So x XOR of x is 0 again. So what I can do is I can just cut these down because x XOR is 0 anyways, right? So now what am I having here? 1 XOR of 2 XOR of 5 XOR of x is equal to 0. Now what is this? 1 XOR of 2 XOR of 3. We have to calculate this. 1 can be written as 0, 1. 2 can be written as 1, 0. 5 can be written as 1, 0, 1. Right? And now we have to XOR all of this 3. Right? So let's do it step by step. Let's XOR 1 and 2 first. So 1 and 0 is 1. Again 1 and 0 is 1. 0 and 0 is 0. Okay. Now again we'll XOR this with 5. So 1, 0, 1. So what is this now? 1 XOR 1, 0. 1 XOR 0, 0, 1. 1 XOR 0, 1. So now we have this value. This is nothing but 7. So we boil this down like 7 XOR of x is equal to 0. And we know the property that x XOR of x is equal to 0, right? So what will the value be of x be? Since we need a 0 here. Can anyone answer this? Yeah, go ahead. So 7 XOR of x is equal to 0. What will the value of x be such that the answer is 0?
7.
Exactly. Because 7 XOR of 7 is 0, right? So XOR satisfies. So what is the value of x? X is 7. So here, what did I do? What did I actually do? Let me boil this down. 1 XOR 2 XOR 5 XOR x XOR x XOR x, right? We had this. I cut down all of the x's and I only had one remaining x. Fine. I had one remaining x. So it's like 1 XOR of 2 XOR of 5 XOR of x is equal to 0. And then I calculated what I know. This is what I know. I calculated its XOR. So basically, XOR of an array I've calculated, right? That will make it 7. And then XOR of x is same like that. It is 0. Now what will happen? XOR of x value, we can just say that x is 7 because XOR of x is 0. One more thing to note down here. Let's take another case. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So how can we write this? In form of a question, they said that a1 is equal to, b1 is equal to a1 XOR of x, right? So we need to find b1, b2 XOR until bn is equal to 0, right? So b1 XOR b2 XOR b3 XOR b4 is equal to 0, correct? So what is b1 again? a1 XOR x1. What is a1? 1. So it is 1 XOR x. And then what is b2? b2 is nothing but 2 XOR x. Similarly, 3 XOR x. Similarly, 4 XOR x should be equal to 0. Right? Now what I'll do? I'll rearrange it. 1 XOR of 2 XOR of 3 XOR of 4. XOR of x, XOR of x, XOR of x, XOR of x. So in this case, we know that XOR of x is equal to 0. So we can cancel this out. XOR of x is 0. This is 0. Now is there an x? Is there an x? There is no x. So answer is independent of x. Of x. Why is that so? Because in case of even, since there will be number of x's as even, they will cancel out each other and will remain with something. Correct? If this value is not equal to 0, then the answer will be -1 because we want it to be 0. If there exists, if it comes out to be 0, right? If it comes out to be 0, this part, then value of x would be 0. But you might ask me, like, x is not there, right? But see, anything XOR 0 will be the same element. Anything. Even if you take 5, XOR 0 is equal to 5 itself. You can try it out. So the answer is nothing but find XOR of all elements. Okay. That is your answer in case of odd. Simply that is the answer. In case of even, check if XOR of all elements, XOR of all elements is 0. If it is 0, if yes, the answer is nothing but 0. Else it is -1. Okay. I hope this is clear. Does anyone have any doubts? Hopefully this was clear. Any doubts, guys? JE aspirant, is it clear, Rahul?
No.
Cool.
Clear.
Okay. Thank you. Just learn about XOR. People who didn't understand, just learn about XOR. Learn it. Okay. You'll understand it. It's pretty standard. Now the last question, which is E. Okay, I have 7 minutes. I am running out of time today. I have to actually go, guys, so I can't take extra. So I just really quickly explain you guys what is it about. Okay. All right. So we have this question. Let's take the examples. This is a math heavy question. Let's read it out and let's figure it out how to solve it. Nick is interested in prime numbers. Okay. Once he read about some problem, gold batch problem, it states that every integer greater than 2 can be expressed as sum of two primes. Okay. That got Nick's attention and he decided to invent a problem of his own and call it Nold batch problem. Okay. There's something he invented. Fine. Since Nick is interested only in prime numbers, Nolbat's problem states that at least k prime number from 2 to n, inclusive, can be expressed as sum of three integer numbers, two neighboring prime numbers, and 1. For example, 19. So I'll explain it clearly what it's asking. So suppose there's a number 19. Okay, let's write down all of the primes. Primes are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, then we have 17, and so on, right? These are the primes. Now, he wants to represent 19 such that it is nothing but 1 1 is constant, 1 plus some prime plus next prime. That is nothing but 1 will be constant, some prime, let's say 3. 3 is some prime, and the next prime would be 5. Similarly, if 5 is 1 prime, the next prime would be 7. Got it? So 19, can it be written as sum of 2 primes plus 1? That's the question. 1, and those primes are adjacent. Yes, it can be written. How? We can write 19 as 1 plus 11 plus 7, I should write
7 plus
actually.
11.
7 plus 11. Perfect. Good, good. 7 plus 11 is equal to 19. So 1 will be there always. So how can we write it down? Can we write it down like this? If xi is the prime, xj is the next prime, is equal to 19. So xi plus xj will be nothing but it will be 18. So our task is to find pair of consecutive primes which sum up to the number minus 1. Simple as that. Understood this, right? Rahul, this is the question. Now, how would you proceed and go ahead with this question? But I think we didn't read the complete question. We have a small thing we did not read. And they're telling that it should be in range of 2 to n specifically. Correct. So he will give us n, he'll give us n, and it should be in between 2 to n. So the prime numbers we can only take from this range. Correct. And what is the other value which they gave? That is k. K is nothing but what we need, minimum number of numbers, or number of numbers, at least number of numbers that satisfy that condition. Correct. Number of numbers that satisfy. It needs to be at least 8. I mean, at least k. Cool. Here, let's take an example. 27 2. Yes. 27 2 is an example. 27 and 2. So we need two numbers which satisfy the condition. Satisfies. And then 27 will be nothing but the value of n. Cool. So 2 to n is what we are traversing. In our case, it will be 2 to 27. Let's check. So can the number 2 be represented as 1 plus x1 plus x2? Can it be represented? So let's write down the primes here. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 20, 23, 25, 27, 27. Yeah, 27 is not a prime. Okay. So these are the primes, all the primes till 27. Correct. And now we should say that how many numbers satisfy from n to 27. That is nothing but from 2 to 27. Let's check one by one. Can 2 be written as 1 plus x1 plus x2? X1 plus x2 is nothing but consecutive primes. So consecutive primes are nothing but these. Correct? These are consecutive primes. Right? So it will become x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Is there any way we can get 1? No. Now let's do for 2 or 3 next. So 3 will be nothing but 1 plus x1 plus x2. 1 will go there. 2 is equal to x1 plus x2. Is it possible? Sum of two consecutive primes is equal to 2. Not possible. Similarly, for 3, what is it possible for 4? I mean, 4 is nothing but 1 plus x1 plus x2. That will be 3 is equal to x1 plus x2. It won't be possible. Not possible. Now for 5, let's check. 5 is equal to 1 plus x1 plus x2. So it will be 4 is equal to x1 plus x2. Is it possible? Still no. Now let's go to 6. 6 is equal to 1 plus x1 plus x2. 5 is equal to x1 plus x2. Correct? So is it possible in this case?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is possible. How is it possible? Because we can add 2 and 3. Correct? We can add 2 and 3 and we can have a sum of 5. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, can I say, similarly, can I say 3 and 5 plus 1 will be one possible value? Can I say that? 3 plus 5 plus 1, how much is it? 9. Can I say 9 can be also written as such? Is it possible, guys? It's okay if you're wrong. Just, answer the question. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible, right? Because if you see 9, 9 can be written as 1 plus x1 plus x2. So that will be nothing but x1 plus x2 is equal to 8. Can we have 8 sum using two consecutive primes? Yes, 3 and 5. Similarly, can I say that 5 plus 7 plus 1 can be a possible answer? 5 plus 7 plus 1. That will be nothing but 13. 13 can be written as 1 plus sum of two consecutive primes. Similarly, this 7 plus 11 plus 1, 19. 11 plus 13 plus 1. What is it? 11 plus 13, 25. 31. This is nothing but 37. And this is nothing but 43. For all of these values, it is possible. But what is the range they ask? 2 to 27. So how many possible values are there between 2 to 27? One is 5. The next one is 19. The next one is 25. So what will be the k? K is 3. Correct? We have 3 numbers which is satisfying the condition from 2 to 27. Right? But what did they ask? There should be at least 2, they asked in the question. If you see, there should be at least 2, but we have 3. So 3 is greater than or equal to 2 is less than or equal to 3. So therefore the answer is yes. Similarly, if you write down the same, you will get no here. There cannot be 7 between 0 to 45. Let's check that. So I'll have to write down everything. But I think you get the idea, guys. You get the idea, right? So I'm running out of time actually. But this is the idea. Do you guys get the idea?
Yes, Anna.
You got it? So what you have to do for this question? You have to take an array and then add all the primes in it. Correct? So on. And they will give some range n. Till n, you iterate here. When this some number, let's say a of I, is greater than n, then stop the array. I mean, stop the iteration. Till then, you just go from 2, 3, 4. What you do? As you go, you just add these both and add a 1. That will be one number. Check if it is between n. It is from between n 2 to n. If it is between that, then you can add a k. You can add to the answer. Correct? Do that. You'll have some value k. Now compare with what they gave in the question. If this k is greater than or equal to what they gave, it's an yes, or else it's a no. Is it clear, guys? Did you get the idea? Can you implement this in code, or should I write down the code for you? It's 7 6. Okay. Joshita, did you understand this question? Karthikeyan, have you understood? If you have any doubts, you can ask me now itself. No questions, guys? Okay, fine then. Are you? I can't hear you, Rahul. Are you speaking something? You can type it in the chat. If that is it, then I think you might leave, guys. Thank you for joining. And yeah, hopefully you solve all of these questions after you leave, right? All the best. Bye.
Bye, Anna.
Bye bye.
Bye, bro.
Bye. Bye, Aniruddha. Yeah, bye. If you have any doubts, you can stay. Bye. Yes, Rahul, tell me. Yeah, you can type. I'll wait. No issues. Oh, for the second question. Okay, let's check. Okay, let me stop the recording first.